So for those who don't know me, hi, how are you doing? Let's talk about a little game about shapes and beats. Just Shapes and Beats is a rhythm game about shapes and beats. Unlike most games in this genre that rely on button prompts while flowing with the groove, this game has the groove flowing against you by turning every song into a bullet hell scenario. Your only ability is to dash through anything that gets thrown at you, and you have a limited number of chances to get through each level. As someone who's played the game back when it came out, it's really fun. It's got a story mode, challenge mode, free play mode, party mode, and a point system that adds changes to the main menu according to how many you earn from the challenge and free play modes. Now you might think that this is a one-of-a-kind type of game, and there's no other games like it. Well, actually, there are. But there's only a few of them. One of these being Project Arrhythmia, a game that, funny enough, was actually in development before JSAB. And while it's still currently in early access, it's already got a level editor and a community to go with it. As for the other game, well, that's actually our topic for today. Hypersquare is a JSAB-like that was released in 2022 and exclusively for Windows. This is a game that's shrouded in mystery. While it's shown to be in development according to its itch.io page, it's actually still in its alpha stage even after it was launched to the public. I did try to find any footage about to pre-hype myself for what I'm about to go through, but all I got was a mobile game with the same name that already came out years before this one. I then tried to check out anything about its creator, The Digital Ascent, but I think they kind of ascended from the internet because all of their socials are already gone before I even had the chance. And this game is all that's left behind from them. Even so, I'm not gonna let that stop me from going through it anyway. So, with all that said, let's get right to it. Let's start things off with the first track of the game, Chronos. As with JSAB and Arrhythmia, our hero of the game takes the form of a small square of similitude. It has an inner square that acts as a visualizer and 3 pixels floating around that represents its lives. We start off by avoiding some other squares getting launched at ours and crushers that gradually approach it while also avoiding beams. Then this bigger square comes in, enraged that ours is still alive, and wields some cannons to take care of the job, though its aim was quite out of reach. And that's the end of the level. So yeah, this was pretty easy enough. There wasn't anything too much to it, so it would make sense since this is the first level. On to the next one, Ultimate Destruction. In this level, we start off avoiding some rising squares, followed by this big beam, and then avoiding more squares and beams being fired from this bigger square. I know it sounds like I repeat myself about the details, but there's something else about the game that makes it unique. Hypersquare has a little subject that I like to call core shapes. These shapes represent the bulk of each of its levels that come in different forms and shapes, with this level square transforming to a mid-keyboard halfway. After another round of avoiding more rising squares with this thing in the middle, and a couple more rounds of avoiding obstacles by the core shape, I managed to get through. This level wasn't that bad either. In fact, I'd say it would be just as easy as Chronos, so it's all good, really. Next up at bat, Hype. This level's core shape takes the form of a hexagon, and all the projectiles are now pluses. We start off by avoiding projectiles, followed by some bombs, and even the level's own visualizer poses as a threat. Then halfway, the core shape starts attacking with cannons forming around it, followed by sending out smaller hexagons that are square, ending off by bringing in cannon-wielding shapes to finish the job. But nonetheless, I managed to get through. Again, an easy level for me, but it's at this point where things start to get harder from here on out. Next up in line, On the Run. We start off avoiding some pop-up squares until we meet the core shape. Here, it takes the form of a square made of lines and even starts to get funky. Then everything really starts becoming funky with beams and more pop-up shapes appearing, all while the core shape goes completely 3D. We then avoid more beams and also pixels as well, all while the wall is slowly creeping up to our square. Finally, everything goes completely disco with a ball of doom and even more pop-up shapes to even up the score. And after that whole light show, I managed to get to the end, but not without still being attacked this time as it all fades out. This one was also difficult, but like Ultimate Destruction, it wasn't too bad either. Unlike for what's coming up next in the fray, Antipixel. The level starts with our square avoiding some bombs. All flowing in the middle is the level's core shape, taking the form of a Game Boy. Oh, sorry, I mean a Hyper Boy. I feel like that's something that could be taken differently. The core shape then transforms into a pixelated square as it fires smaller pixels and lines at us. But this is just only the easy part of the level. The calm before the storm, as one would say. While the core shape is still doing its thing, the level then starts to drag along our square and pixelate things of various shapes and sizes are thrown its way. But that's not even the worst of it. The level then decides to do a full 180, and then some, all while our square is taken along for the ride. And after surviving that gauntlet, we finally make it to the end of the level. I said we made it to the end of the level. Oh. Oh no. It's not over, isn't it? And after surviving round 2 of that mayhem, we're finally and actually done. This has got to be the craziest level the game has to offer. There was so much happening, my poor overstimulated brain couldn't keep up with it all. I think this is the only level where I failed the most at. Oh well, at least we're almost done. Last up on the docket, Sonic Blaster. We start off with some triangles getting thrown at our square, followed by some more being done by the level's course shape, also taking the forward one, along with beams and some really fast triangles to go with all that. The course shape then gets some cannons to fire beams and blue triangles at our square, and also some bombs all the while, followed by a whole barrage of blue triangles, and the course shape transforming to a visual board. After all that, the level decides to go easy on us and give us a break and prepare for what's about to happen next. No, I'm not joking when I say that. The whole cannon sequence starts again, now with double the amount of them, and both their own ammo have been swapped around. But anyhow, that's all there is to it. So yeah, this was another difficult level for me. There was a lot going on too, but not as much as the last level either, so once again, it wasn't too bad. And that's basically everything the game has to offer. Well, besides being able to customize the square and also unlocking more colors for it after each level you complete. I wish there was more to be offered for this game so this could go on longer, but I'm afraid that this is where our adventure comes to a close. Alright, so what are my final thoughts? Well, despite the otherwise short experience, this is really fun. Visual-wise, the levels were really stunning, with each of their backgrounds being catered to the song that's playing, like gears and other machinery for Chronos and speakers and club lights for On the Run. Again, I like the design for the main square, especially with the visualizer it has. That is a nice touch. For the music itself, it's a good mix. While I already heard half of the songs featured here in JSAB and technically Sonic Blaster and Iridium as a custom level, I'm not going to judge the creator for that. All the songs here are good no matter what game they're used in. My favorite song for the mix has to be Antipixel. Even though the level for it was really unforgiving, there's something about it that sounds mesmerizing to me. The only gripe I have with the game is the lack of checkpoints. Both JSAB and Iridium have these, which can be useful in case the player fails at any part of a level that would be otherwise hard for them. Since Hypersquare doesn't have any of that, you basically have to do each of them in one go, especially for the harder levels where it's going to be more of a challenge to get through. They're going to feel like survival. I understand that this is still the alpha stage and more could have been done for it during development, but you know. Overall, I still have fun with it regardless. Unless there's a reason on why the original creator left, like either suffering from burnout or to focus on studies, whatever the reason was, it's sad that this is all that was left behind for them because I can see the potential in this. Everything from what I said about the game really shows that there's a lot that can be done from it had its development continued. If anything, they really did a good job of making it stand out as its own thing. If you want to give it a try for yourself, whether or not you have played the other two games that I've mentioned enough already, I have the link to the game's itch.io page to download in the description below. Oh, and Digital Ascent, in case you actually somehow stumble on this video, hope you're doing good out there.
Oh my God, we're doomed!
Say, how many reviews have I done now? Okay, cool. I really have been doing this for long, haven't I? You know what? That's it. I think after this last one I do, I'm gonna take a break. Maybe I can use this time to do other things, like writing up stories, make animations, something to break me from this curse I have. Well, actually, I think curse is a strong word to describe this situation, but I just wanted to do something different for a change. Oh my god! It's a 25p!
Today is a good day.
This must be my lucky day.
Oh no.
Not my problem.